Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And it seems that we're going to have quite a bit of news today because over the weekend, chaos literally erupted. And I mean that quite literally because we had some things happen at the Washington House, alright? Like the White House, you could say. Because, it just seems that whenever this happens to the right, whatever, when things go onto the right side of things, it's a huge problem. It's an issue. It's not a huge. It's can't be anything but a complete meltdown or destruction of our country. But of course, when the other side does it, it's not this. And what I mean by this is an insurrection, because Bow Live, it says here, Hamas supporters just held up a bloody Joe Biden mask outside the White House. This is a real insurrection. They also defaced many monuments with red paint, Palestinian flags, graffiti, and more. Where are the police? Share this to make it go viral. And here's the thing that I want everybody to understand here. In the videos that I'm going to show you, and it's about 6 minutes, and we'll probably have this video around 8 to 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because you have to show you. But the point of the matter is that this is what an insurrection would technically look like, or like some type of like high, medium scale, high, small scale to at least a medium scale type of insurrection. I think the highest tier is like with guns and other stuff like that. But what you see here is not it's not what happened on January 6th. This is not what happened on January 6th. The worst that you had was like some bad actors, but mostly the people were just walking in the White House doing nothing. But this? This guy is trying to burn an American flag, and if anybody was there seeing it, you could see that this guy was holding a bloody Joe Biden mask. That was not happening during the January 6th. And that was not happening, and the bloody Trump mask was not there. Besides, the crazy Kathy Griffin, that psychopath did it. So that's fair game, I guess. But, this is just insanity. What we have here is we have Death to America written right here onto the thing, random flags on our actual murals and memorials and stuff like that. In a lot of countries that is not America, countries will consider this as a actual invasion, an attack on their actual sovereignty, attack on their country. And why we don't actually see this as an attack on our country is just beyond me. Because the Democrats like this. The Democrats like our country being in disarray. Because the Democrats have only want the ability to control the American people, make sure that their lives is quite miserable because they obviously don't care about the American people. And as long as their coffers is being loaded with money, that's all that they care for, along with some of those rhino Republicans as well, where as long as their coffers are loaded with money, they're getting money off the death of, people, whether it is American people or other foreign countries, they don't care as long as their coffers are filled with that delicious money, because greed is just ever so great, isn't it? So this is stuff that was going on here near the Washington. Now this is not the big issue. What is the big issue here is that what we're going on here is this. Because we have this from Raw Alerts. You guys are going to see this, where thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters and activists are lighting off smoke bombs and flares as they surround the White House. Currently, D.C. Metro Police are on high alert as hundreds of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters and activists have gathered outside the White House in the Washington, D.C. as they light up smoke bombs. Smoke bombs, guys. Smoke bombs and flares as they protest for Palestine, planning to surround the White House. Police have deployed mace into the surrounding crowds, and crews have erected a large anti-scale fence around the White House in anticipation of this weekend's Gaza protest. So, guys, leftists, friends, value. Now, you can either consider this an insurrection, or you consider this an invasion. Take your pick. Because when you have an insurrection, it's normally like other people trying to take down the government. These people are on the White House, in front of the White House, with Palestinian flags, using smoke bombs and flares. Now, leftists, use your head meat a little for a second here. Use your head meat. Was there smoke bombs and was there flares during January 6th? Whether the people entering the White House, shooting people, waving non-American flags, etc., in the White House? No. So, we can classify this as an insurrection, or we can classify this as an invasion. Take your pick. Because I don't think that we should have, Palestinian flags on the front door of the American White House. Maybe that's just insane to me to probably think that, but yeah. If you guys don't believe me, it's like you haven't showed the video yet. Well, don't worry, my friends, I will, because I have to explain to some people that the insanity here does not make any sense. And of course, the Democrats won't claim this as an insurrection. They won't make this a big deal, because of course the Democrats don't care. They just want to push their narrative and not the actual narrative that's sitting right in the front of their face.
That Zionism has lost. Israel has lost. But how many have to remember that Lincoln was the butcher of Gaza, and history will show that Gaza will not be defeated. History will show that victory is for the best.
Police are here, but I honestly think that the National Guard should be here. This is what I would consider a national threat. This is not something that the police should. The police should be here, but the National Guard should also be here, and SWAT, and any type of resources we can, because this is insanity here. I don't even think this is a protest anymore.
What project was
The U.S.-Palestine Communities Network stands here today, along with all of those of consciousness and of humanity and all who demand the red line for Biden and his administration, and to demand a stop to the genocide they are inflicting on Palestine with their Zionist partners.
That is what was going on in Washington Washington at the White House. Now, granted, the people that were outside of the White House, okay, we could probably say they're just protesters, right? So we could say that they're protesters because they're not really doing much of anything. However, my whole point is being made here is if you have hundreds of thousands of people surrounding the White House, and the people are, and then when this happened 4 years ago, they're labeled it as a insurrection and called it January 6th, along with arresting Americans, right? Actual Americans, and doing horrible things. But for whatever reason, the media will not go up and say that this is an insurrection, that this is not called like, not January 6th, but June 6th, honestly, or June 7th, right? That like, or June 8th. They won't go and do this. J7. Because again, we all know on how the Democrats deal with their stuff, how they have to do the narrative. Anything that the right or the Republicans or conservatives ever do is considered horrible. They are the ones that are the issue, right? However, of course, when it comes down to the Democratic side, the leftists, the activists, these people with the Palestinian flags, you know, waving around at the White House. No. That's not an insurrection. That is peaceful. They're not trying to overthrow the government. They're not throwing bombs and flares at in the middle of our White House. No, that's completely fine. You guys have a two-tier system, or at least a two-tier justice system, or party lines. Because we know if this was any remote of Republicans or conservatives or anybody else that is doing this, then we all know that you would be on them. You would be calling this the worst attack on Americans in history. But of course, this has nothing to do with it, right? Like this is not an insurrection. This isn't anything. So I want you guys to understand here that the Democrats will lie and only attack one group of side of people, and they'll defend another group of side of people, even if they're doing the same exact things that the other side was doing. This is the game that they play, guys. This is the game that they play. They don't care for American people, and they never have. And this is showing quite obvious what's been going on. Because if this was anything but this, right now, today, I should see on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, everywhere, saying that this is an insurrection. Somebody should be starting this and saying, this is an insurrection. Because that's what this is. Nothing more, nothing less. And if you want to say that it's not, then, well, you have to absolve the entire thing of the January 6th people, because this is on the same scale as the people in January 6th. I dare say it's worse. So I don't know what to tell you. The only difference is that there wasn't a person that killed, right? There wasn't a civilian that was killed. Ashley Babbitt, people, raise your hands. Punch to the chest for Ashley Babbitt. Because, obviously, if they were even remotely good, we would have one crazy police officer shooting an innocent civilian. So I guess on this one, they don't have anybody killed by a government official, because we should always trust our government. This is just the way it is. And this is where it's tearing our country apart. And something needs to be done. Well, alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, start, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, 'cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.